of the judges turned into ash immediately with the deployment of a hoax pretext so flimsy as to be utterly laughable if it were not so utterly horrifying and indeed terrifying. And the iniquity that now exists in the Levant and may exist by the morning in Britain is something for us all to fear. Not least because if the balloon goes up, we'll all be dead. I mean, all of us. It's very important that you grasp this. This is not the First World War. Why? So that Ben Gavir can dance in a settlement in Gaza? Really? You want to die for that? Do you? You want your children and their children to die for that? Children, as yet unborn, never to exist because of that? Well, that's the situation we are now in. It's a situation
Means a lot. I looked it up.
more dangerous than we
You know,
have
this fucking say like
ever
fucking
faced
something
before, lived through at the
going
Cuban
around fucking saying
Missile
my shirt's
Crisis
fucking
in my bed hearing aircraft from the nearby Royal Air Force Station at Lookers in Fife flying overhead and thinking that the nuclear bomb was about to be dropped. That's how dangerous the situation we are now in. So hold tight to those you love. Hold tight to righteousness, because if we all die, we'll all face the judgment day. And we'll all have to answer for what we did and what we didn't do. Whilst I still can, I'm in Rochdale, where I have announced that I will be a candidate in the forthcoming parliamentary by-election. There's no date yet for the by-election. They may have wanted to call it early, but now that I'm in the race, they need to delay it. Whether they call it early or whether they delay it, I will fight for every vote, and I expect to do extremely well. I got 21.8% of the vote in the last by-election I contested and spent. I expect to do better than that in the Rochdale by-election whenever
What
it is fought.
You know, I'm
If
going
I
over.
had got 1% more
Yeah.
than that rate and spent, Sir Keir Starmer would now be the ex-leader of the Labour Party. There can be no future for Britain
What?
as a one-party state, as a uniparty state, as a Tory Labour duopoly, when both of them stand for entirely the same thing on virtually every issue of importance, including the supremely important issues of war and peace. So we have to bust that duopoly. And so I'll be asking the people in Rochdale to lend me their vote. Just once. For what? The remaining 6 months of this parliament. That's all. You don't have to re-elect me. You don't have to support me again. You don't have to pledge your loyalty to me. Just send a message to the British political class that you will not put up with this any longer. Just send a message to the crooks in the British mass media that you will not accept being lied into the slaughterhouse. And perhaps above all, send a message to the people soaking wet, freezing cold, hungry, living out in the open in Gaza tonight, wondering if this is the man that Benjamin Netanyahu and his criminal gang bring their lives and the lives of their children to a blistering end with red hot, razor sharp steel, sheets of eyeglass, molten lead, or whether they die instead tomorrow of hunger, of famine, of disease. Because I'll tell you how they would vote. I can assure you of that. Without any possibility of contradiction. The people of Gaza would be voting for me. But they cannot vote. They cannot vote even where they are, never mind any by-election in Britain. So the people in Rochdale have a chance to vote for them, to vote for justice, to vote for peace, to vote for a real democracy. That vote will take. It's been marvelous for the House of Order for you, despite the technical difficulties, which may or may not have something to do. But I'm only a few hundred yards away from the International Criminal Court. Unfortunately.
Back. Okay. Awesome. T-shirts. More t-shirts. Fucking shit. Fuck face. Fucking cunt.
I recently spoke with Edward Snowden, a military contractor who revealed government secrets and now lives in exile. Did Snowden do the right thing? After researching this, I now think he did. You decide. Here's our full interview. You went to work for the government. You signed agreements saying you wouldn't talk about what you did. Why go to the media?
We talk about awards for progress in civil liberties. We talk about the importance of independent thought and the history of it. And this is really what it is. I did sign up to work for the government. I volunteered for the Army. I applied to the CIA. I worked as a contractor in an NSA facility on NSA computers. And again, people think contractors like working in different buildings. It's just a continuation of government service.
And also, you joined the military after 9/11 because you wanted to fight.
And when everyone else was protesting, I was a younger man, and I was much less politically educated. I still think than I am today. You know, some things only come later. But so yeah, it raises this question of how does someone like who I was become someone like who I am?
Yes, sir.
And I gotta tell you, it was hard. It wasn't easy, it wasn't natural, it wasn't something I ever expected to do.
Fucking shit.
I signed up to all of these. I volunteered because I believe in a national mythos to which we are all subscribed. When we're born into our country, we go to a school system or whatever in the world. Where did you get up in the morning? We pledge allegiance to the flag. We all have the same stories. We all watch the same channels. We see men like you on TV. Kind of things. What's happening in the world with this? And what changed me was a realization that as someone who held a top secret clearance and had access far beyond what a top secret clearance would entitle someone to generate, the private truths of what was actually happening in our government, what our government actually does, what our nation was involved in, without the knowledge or consent of the people that it purports to represent, was very different than the public representation. And that, really just that scene alone, was the sort of journey that would take me many years to ultimately realize the decision, as you said, to come forward. And the ultimate reason why I came forward was simply to bridge that gap between my own experience and share that with everyone else. To share the realization that I came to, that what we were being told is true and real and is the state of our world, was in fact a willing and continuing lie by some of the highest representatives in our government. And I felt that people needed to know that.
What was the lie?
I think the most famous one for me, and really the turning point, would be when you look at the exchange between Senator Ron Wyden and then Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper. This is a sworn testimony in front of the Senate Intelligence Committee. And for those who don't remember it, because it was some time ago, it looked a little bit like this. So what I want to do is give you a yes or no question. Does the NSA collect any type of data at all? Hundreds of millions? No.
No, sir. Not wittingly. There are cases where they could inadvertently, perhaps, collect, but not wittingly.
The importance of this is to think about what that represented. This, of course, was false. The NSA was collecting the phone records of every Verizon customer on a daily basis. They were doing this for us as well. I just didn't have the judicial order for that. And this was happening to the internet. This was happening to email communications. What was happening was a change in technology from the old internet that was sort of non-commercial, very individual and simple. It was pretty crude. Everything was cobbled together, to this larger, more corporatized internet where all of our communications, all of our interactions, all of our relationships, all the things that we read and like online are being passed to us through a Facebook or a Google or an Apple. And in secret, these companies had basically gone far beyond what the law required of government to join programs where they would share information with the NSA through the front door of the FBI. And it was continuing for years without the kind of individual warrants and legal process that we expected and we had become accustomed to. We're told in the Constitution, this is how our government works. And so for me, when you ask what was the lie, the lie was not any one particular part of these programs. It wasn't particular detail. It was the fact that there was a breathtaking sweep of intentional, knowing public deception by people at the level of the Senate, by people in these different executive agencies, intelligence agencies, and then the White House itself, even from the president, then President Barack Obama, who campaigned on ending warrantless wiretapping that he had criticized so heavily in the Bush administration, but had in fact, in secret, extended and embraced these programs and these authorities to a level that I began to feel had truly narrowed the boundaries of our rights.
Does the NSA routinely intercept American citizens' emails?
No.
Does the NSA intercept Americans' cell phone conversations?
No.
Google searches?
No.
Text messages?
No.
Amazon.com orders?
No.
Bank records?
No. We're not authorized to do it, nor do we do it. You're at the NSA and you're dealing with these secrets before you even saw the head of the National Security Agency on TV. And what did you think about them then?
Well, so this was the thing. When you look at the arc of my career in intelligence, I was always working on the technical aspect of it. And so, by and large, I was modernizing our systems because post 9/11, the intelligence community realized they weren't very good at using technology. They thought they were. And in a way, it was true that they were, but it was a different era's technology. They were great with radio. They were great with satellite. They weren't so good with computers. They weren't so good with the internet. So they brought in a bunch of shaggy young guys who looked like me.
And they really liked what you did. You were a star.
Absolutely. But it wasn't that I was, exceptional. So much that I represented a generation that was native to these new systems that they had shied away from because they didn't trust the security of them. It turned out for good reason. But my generation came in, we shared our experiences, we shared our specialties, and we were always looking at what we were doing through a straw. And you have to understand these principles that we hear of in the movies, need to know. Means normally you get a project, you do a project. You don't know where it goes, you don't know who else is using it. But bit by bit, I was redirecting and collecting the flow of intelligence, and I was backing it up, harmonizing it, making it so that if we lost a building, if we lost a site, we didn't lose everything that had passed through that, the information that had passed through that. And I thought this was information about terrorists. I thought this was saving lives. I thought this was preventing wars. But as I moved higher and higher in the organization, as I moved from CIA to as I moved from office to office, my straw that I'm looking for gets wider and wider and wider until I land in this place called the Office of Information Sharing. It turned out I would be much better at this job than anyone expected. And I saw everything. And it's only there when you see the consequences of your labor.
Edward. Hi, Edward.
All brought together with the labor of others of your entire generation who themselves, not sitting in the position you are, can't see the big picture and impact of what they're doing. And the public, who never even knew this stuff existed. And again, this was occurring without their consent, but in theory, it was being carried out in their name. It felt to me that we needed to know. We needed to actually decide, is this what we want to happen or not?
And you talk to your supervisors.
Yeah, I talked to my supervisors. I talked to my colleagues on Constitution Day.
They were all fine with it. This is just what we do, and no problem.
Well, actually, it's not quite that people had no problems. When I brought up these programs that many of them had never heard of because they hadn't been exposed to them, I said, does this look right to you? When I show that we're collecting more internet communications in the United States, than we were in Russia, right? We are ingesting more American communications than we are ingesting Chinese people's communications, or Russian communications, or North Korean communications, whoever you're afraid of, right? The bulk of our collection was happening domestically happening with the aid of other partners in what's called the Five Eyes network, the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. And then the NSA would go, well, yes, we're collecting all this communication, but we're not reading it. We're capturing everything that you, John Stoffel, are doing online. We're capturing everything that your family is doing online, that your friends are doing online. But we just keep you on this. It's not being used for anything bad. And then, being an engineer, I see how these things actually are being touched. They are being processed. They are being sorted through. And every single day, algorithmically, it sort of proves the lie, right? That all of these promises, they don't really amount to much. All of these processes and regulations and procedures.
And you told all that because you did not ask the Patriot.
What the NSA is doing every single day, its ordinary course of business, is violating not only the laws as written, but likely the Constitution. And I tell
That's when I first wanted to try to like to move to Russia.
Tell this.
It was just like, yeah, okay, cover.
Well, it was not that easy, actually. You were supposed to go to Venezuela or something like that because only them was taking him. And then all of the planes and every single airport that was supposed to deport him to this country that was extraditing him and then giving him a visa, he couldn't go anywhere. And it was like, nobody can do that. Like in an order of like a few hours, ground all the planes that go over there just so he cannot leave and you can
Yeah, I
ask
think
it.
he took it just to be like,
So
haha, fuck you.
he grounded the plane and he said to Snowden, like, here, your citizenship.
Basically. But what happens?
But he had to keep all the information about America.
What happens to us as Americans? What happens to us as a society if everybody sees something wrong and goes, well, if I say something about it, I'm going to get in trouble? What happens if everybody goes, I'm not going to do anything about this because it's
And
not
you
my
have that
job?
one asshole that's me or you
That's how things go
Yeah.
wrong.
that has a big mouth and is a big fucking shit starter,
The
obviously.
reality was I was just like them.
Yeah,
For a long time,
Yeah.
I had a sense of unease. But in reality, it was not my job to fix it. And this was actually one of the criticisms of
I
this
genuinely
effort.
try to understand a lot of different
You know, who elected you?
and a lot of different views.
But
I don't always know
it's
what's
not
right,
about
but I know when
who
something's
you are.
fucking wrong.
um,
And I know
it's
killing
about
children,
what you witness. It's about
specifically
what you
targeting
prove.
pregnant women,
And does that
and then denying them of any
And I
kind
think
of
the
aid
last 7
is
years,
not
we've seen
right.
course reviews from
I don't really care what
Confirm
the excuse
that
is.
they were in fact unlawful. We've seen laws
Not
changed
right.
even by the legislature that was implicated.
Even if they did it to you first,
But at
it
some
still
point, we
doesn't make
decided-
right.
I'm not gonna keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
am I.
it's exactly this. If I
Not
keep
true.
my mouth shut, the guy to my right, the guy to my left, we all
I
think
try
this
a lot
is
harder
wrong,
than
and we
you.
all keep our mouths shut.
What?
You're how you're all like achy and
Like
gross.
this?
Like if
What
you're
does tomorrow look
this?
like?
not like you.
And the year after
more like
that,
a
and the year after that. The reality with these kind of extraordinary powers in government, particularly, we all understand this now in the post 9/11 moment, because it's not just surveillance, it's happening in war, it's happening in international diplomacy, it's happening in economy, financial
No good jump
crisis,
on you,
bail
but-
out the banks,
Oh.
but we don't bail out
Well,
ordinary
Right
people.
after that.
When the government
What's wrong with us?
writ large
See?
identifies a moment of
You mean
crisis.
walking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
think
use
that's
that crisis for
Oh, look at
Yeah.
an exceptional demand or exceptional powers,
There
which
you
they
go.
normally wouldn't be entitled to.
Whoa.
This was the rise of the Patriot Act, right? This was how the Bush administration got involved, and that was fired. I mean, this is how we got extrajudicial killings through drone strikes off the ground. This is how we got involved in torture.
They're good
But it's
morning.
always justified as an exception to ordinary operations, something that's done for a narrow purpose in a narrow way. But they
And narrow purpose
these
in
all
a
happen in
narrow
secret,
way.
remember. They keep the body of witnesses small by design.
No, there's a narrow purpose and a close-minded.
And those who complain are generally shuffled off the program. They're put in a closet somewhere. And
But
they
it's
lie
really
out
hard
their
for a
retirement.
tech
They're
guy
lucky.
to speak
They're
like
doing
this.
things that matter.
Yeah.
Words that we
But
are
also
actually
not
going to
having access
understand.
anything
Like, he's not actually going deep into the program and telling us what I want.
Well, that's what he was saying. It was like a lot of the people
But
who I was explaining these things to, this is foreign to them. Like, this is something they've never seen or, like, they don't understand it. And he's like, does this seem right to you? And people are like, I don't know what I'm literally looking at. Like,
And you do nothing.
so he doesn't really have any, like, kind of, like, senior advisor he can go to be like, hey, this is, I think, a problem. Yeah. But, like, I can't tell you how many jobs that I've had that exact experience where it ends up being like, you get thrown into your job position and they say figure it out or you're fired. So, the really only option is to figure out how to do a job that you've never done before and no one else thinks to know how to do it either. It's really fun.
Hey, live with mud and rocks.
That's true, you do.
Can't fucking really be so hard to understand it.
Yeah, but like, well,
Get
look at
some
the people
mud
that
and
you
put
work
some
with.
rocks and then build stuff with it.
Look at the amount of people that you work with that like,
Yeah, are incompetent.
and you're like, I'm not sure if you're just like that bad at what we're doing, or if you're just doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's often that it's not even on purpose.
see, like to this day, there's a lot of times where I'm like, I really don't know. I am not sure anymore.
They're just born that way.
Yeah, because some people are born fucking useless.
Yeah, I bagged my cup.
It's kind of like prison rules. It's like if you give up, you die.
Yeah.
No one's gonna come save you. No one's gonna come fucking
Yeah.
bail you out. It's just you fucked up. Well, now you have to deal with your fuck up.
That's
So.
it. You got a book? 2 books? 5 books? Okay. I'm really happy, baby,
Okay.
in general.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, sure.